Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you guys are. Guys, do me a favor on this video. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video as always, guys. I really appreciate your support. And I'm always going to be bringing you some good boxing content. As always, boxing news and what's going off in the boxing world. So, guys, Terence Crawford has said that he's serious about Jermell Charlo. He really wants that fight against Charlo. He said after he beats Errol Spence, that's the fight that he wants. You know, and he's damn serious about it. He's not playing around. He wants that fight. Now, I look at Terence Crawford and I look, if he fights Errol Spence and just say he beats Errol Spence, what is there left for him? You're talking about fights with Jaron Ennis. You're talking about fights with Virgil Ortiz. There's not many fights out there. Danny Garcia's now moved up to 154. That's a potential fight for him because Danny Garcia has always been somebody that Terence has wanted to fight. But the reason why I say this is that a lot of the guys that Terence is going to have to fight at welterweight are going to be young, up-and-coming, hungry guys. And that might not really interest Terence. When you look at what Terence has achieved, if he then goes on to beat Errol Spence, fighting Ortiz and Ennis isn't of the same caliber, and let's not forget it's dangerous as well. They aren't as big a names as well. So a fight with Jermell Charlo might be his only option after the Spence fight if he beats Errol. I'd like to think that both of them would have a rematch clause. Maybe a rematch clause might be one way, where if Spence wins, because most people think he's going to be the A side, if Spence wins, that, you know, there won't be a rematch. If Terence wins, there'll be a rematch. Whatever. You know, I personally think if Crawford beats Errol and there isn't a rematch clause, then what really is there for Terence Crawford? Who is there really for Terence Crawford to fight? Who is there? You know, I like the fight. I do like the fight. I think it's a great fight. I do. I think that Crawford v Charlo would be a good fight. Look, a lot of people think that Charlo's too big, he's too strong. Well, let's see it. Look, Crawford's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, right? Crawford's the same size as Amir Khan. Amir Khan went up and fought Canelo Alvarez, who most people would say is better than Jermell Charlo. Crawford, in most people's eyes, is a better fighter than Amir Khan. So why can't Crawford go up and fight Jermell Charlo? But Amir Khan went up and fought Canelo and gave Canelo hell. And you'd also say that Canelo is a bigger puncher than Charlo, and he's a bigger man. Look at what he's gone on to achieve in the higher weight classes. So, for me, that's not an unrealistic fight if he beats Errol Spence. I think the Spence fight, I'm not interested in a Charlo fight until the Errol Spence fight gets made. But if Terence Crawford beats Errol Spence, I would love to see the Charlo fight. That would be a great fight. I don't see why. I know Steven wasn't very keen on it, but that's probably because of the fact that he's a Spence fan and he thinks that Spence will beat Crawford. But if Crawford beats Spence, you can't tell me that you wouldn't want to see a Crawford's Charlo fight. And to make out like Charlo's so much bigger. Like, come on. The size difference between Charlo and Crawford isn't that big where, you know, we've seen guys get in the ring with much bigger size differences than that. And guys that are nowhere near on the skill level of Terence Crawford. So let's put it into perspective. I think it's a very good fight. I think it's a kind of a 60-45 in Charlo's favor because Charlo's a good boxer and he can punch. But Terence Crawford for me is overall the better boxer out of the two. And I think Crawford could do Charlo. I do. I'm being serious. Charlo got beat by Harrison. You know, and Harrison's long and big, and I get all of that. But I also think Crawford's a very good boxer. He's very elusive. He can switch. I think Crawford would be a problem for anybody at 154. Even Charlo. I do. I think Crawford's a real talent. You know, so I don't think Crawford's an easy fight for anybody. I do. I think Terence Crawford could do some serious damage, no matter who he gets in the ring with. Doesn't matter how big they are. I do. I think Crawford is a special talent. I definitely think Crawford could go to 154. I think that would be his limit. I don't think he can go any more. Some people think 147 might be his limit, but I think he can go to 154. I think the depth in the 154-pound division isn't that great, and I think he could beat some of those guys at 154. Like I said, I think the Charlo fight is a very competitive fight. I think it's a very good fight. I think it's an interesting fight. One that I think would be pretty interesting to watch, to be honest. So yeah, I'm keen on that. I'm keen on that fight without question. I think it would make a lot of sense as well. So yeah, that's my take on it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about Terence Crawford v Jermell Charlo. Leave your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.